Today I'll be sharing 33 things to help you get started with Smallands Survive the Wilds. As always, I'll be avoiding any major spoilers. First up, interact with every alophagy and NPC as they're meant to be an early game tutorial system. While you might not like reading in video games, the information they provide will make your experience much more enjoyable. Use your antennae sense frequently to locate hidden resources and enemies. This is especially useful in areas with dense grass and when exploring new areas so you aren't surprised by a new enemy. Don't wander too far from spawn at the start of the game. Take your time and get geared up so you don't get overwhelmed by tougher enemies. Most resources respawn one day after collecting them, so gather all the resources closest to your base as quickly as possible each day. When armor is equipped, it doesn't take up inventory space, so deposit your old armor into a chest to free up that inventory space. Build a foundation, wall, roof, and bed as soon as possible so you can safely sleep through the first night. The workbench, other crafting stations, and chests can be placed on the ground, but make sure to put a roof over them as they will take damage over time from weather. Craft arrows, a bow, a club, a hammer, a hatchet, a sword, and a torch as soon as possible. Equip the arrows because just like armor, they don't take up inventory space when equipped. Harvest mushrooms whenever you see them as they are an easy way of maintaining your nourishment early game. You can't swim. One of the alophagies will tell you this very early on, and you'll quickly learn this on your own. Use the right weapon against each enemy to make fights as quick as possible. You can see the weakness and resistance next to the name on an enemy's health bar, or use your antennae sense to reveal them. Use the secondary attack to one-shot weaker enemies, or deal extra damage to passive enemies as they will flee immediately. Learn to dodge roll to avoid taking damage so you don't waste healing items, waste resources repairing your armor, or risk breaking your armor. Be careful when dodge rolling near water to avoid rolling into water and drowning. Carry extra bandages to heal after a tough fight. Carry resources to build a workbench so you can quickly repair your gear while you're out exploring. The amount of durability an item has lost will determine if and how many resources it takes to repair them, so carry extra fiber, resin, and wood to repair the early game items while out exploring. Make sure to repair all your gear when returning to base and before venturing out again. Make an extra set of weapons and leave it in your base because if you die, you lose everything that is not equipped. Make extra food as well and leave it back in your base, otherwise you could be left with none if you die far from your base. Don't carry rare resources with you while out exploring for the reasons mentioned above. If you die, they'll be left in your gravestone. Your gravestone will be located where you died, except if you die from fall damage. In that case, it will be where you fell from. Fall damage will most likely be the most common cause of death in Smalland when you first start playing, so be mindful when traversing the world. Avoid being out at night early on because more dangerous and aggressive bugs come out and will hunt you relentlessly. Mark enemy locations and resources you can't yet harvest or are important so you can come back to them later. Don't rush to visit the NPCs marked on your map as they are in much dangerous areas in the spawn area. Use map markers when exploring far from your base so you can quickly find your way back. This is especially useful early on because the map can be difficult to navigate. When the storm warning appears, you have just a few minutes to seek shelter. You can shelter in your base or at an NPC's base to avoid freezing to death. The next couple of tips have minor spoilers, so hit the like button and stop watching if you want to avoid them. Screws and bottle caps seem to spawn near water, and from what I can tell, they do not respawn. Bull ants drop mandibles needed to make the pickaxe. They look imposing, but go down pretty easily if you use a sword. Saurer beetles will likely be your first source of chitin. Use a bow and get a sneak attack in on them for a lot of extra damage, and avoid using edge weapons since they are resistant to them. Seeds can be acquired from rye plants. That's 33 things to help you get started in Smallands Survive the Wilds. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content just like this.